Hello everyone, and welcome back to World of Warships Blitz with Terry. Today is a bit of a special video, because this one is for Patrick McLeod, who has been asking me in the comments about cruisers in Tier 7, and who's trying to figure out which Tier 7 cruiser he's going to go for. He said that he really enjoyed the mid-tier French and German cruisers, Tier 5 and 6, so we're talking Königsberg, Nürnberg, and the Galicianier, for example. So light cruisers, very rapid firing light cruisers, torpedo cruisers, maneuverable, and given how he describes his experience playing battleships, he seems to have a bit of a problem with destroyers occasionally, and he's recently been starting to play up the Soviet line, up to the Svetlana and then later to the Kirov, and kind of enjoying them as well. So I'm going to play 3 ships today. I'm going to play the Shores, the Tier 7 light cruiser on the Soviet line. I'm going to play the York, the Tier 7 heavy cruiser on the German line. And I'm going to play the Algerie, the Tier 7 French cruiser, also heavy cruiser. Now, I do realize that I haven't done reviews for either the York or the Algerie, so I'm not going to actually go into the details of the builds and captain skills and anything. This one is purely gameplay, 3 battles, for Mr. McLeod to maybe help you a bit make up your mind which line you want to go up to and which one you want to invest in. So here goes. First game is going to be in the York. And we are top tier, playing against 3 battleships, 2 cruisers and 2 destroyers. So a very good mix-up, and also some good players on the other team. So we'll see how this all plays out. I'm playing Encounter, which is not the most common map for a tier 6-7, but it's usually a higher tier map. Now the York is a very special ship in the German line because she has very good high explosive shells, which kind of you notice just from the onset that she actually starts off with high explosive, which is unusual for a heavy cruiser. So she does have the 200 millimeters, she does have a slower reload than the other ships, but given that we're in her, we'll stick with the high explosive for now. We'll probably encounter destroyers and we can always switch to the armor piercing if need be. We are having 2 battleships with us, and there's a Mayhem and a Fubuki out there, so we're going to take point here and just kind of secure this side, because there's guaranteed to be at least 1 destroyer, maybe 2 of them over here, unless the other one goes through the middle, and there's our other cruiser in the middle doing the same thing that I'm doing. So we detected there's a destroyer. Okay, so I'm slamming on the brakes in case they got torpedoes away, because I'm not seeing them yet. I'm just popping the hydro, and so the York does have hydroacoustic search, and there's the Mayhem. Now he's confusing me. Is he in a Mayhem or is he in a Fletcher? Okay, there come the torps. Can just accelerate out of those, that's not a problem. He smokes up and disengages. The battleship shouldn't have any problems dodging these, because I've seen them coming miles away thanks to the hydro. And there's a New Mexico, so we're gonna just get in range of that thing. Get bow in a little bit, because the York is, while she's a heavy cruiser, she's not as sturdy as the Hipper, and there are 2 fires. The York is a very, very good ship with its high explosives. So we'll just keep that going. And we're getting a little cross-fired by the battleships there on the other side, I think. And there is Mr. Fletcher in the Mayhem again. I think that's the way it is around. Oh, and there's the Fubuki as well. Would you look at that? Okay, Fubuki spotted, full ahead, just in case he dropped torps. And we dropped torps kind of just to dissuade him from coming any closer. No, I think he dropped one of the battleships. He didn't even try dropping me. But that Mayhem over there should probably have torpedoes ready, so he's the bigger threat. So I'm angling out and away from him, and just keep the fire up. Now you see she's not firing as quickly as you would say in a light cruiser, so you actually have to make sure that your shots are sitting, which I totally didn't. Okay, there comes the widespread from the Mayhem, and yes, he was anticipating that I was trying to outrun it, so he was sending a widespread over, but I can dodge these, not a problem. None of these torpedoes actually hit. Now he goes into hiding again. There comes a Wanghae, and this is a ship that I can actually use armor piercing again, but I have high explosive loaded right now, and there's battleship out there as well. So I am just emptying my barrels, and he's running away wisely. And there's the Mayhem. So he's, again, priority target. I don't think he has torps reloaded quite yet, but he decided to open up, so we're just gonna make sure. I've got my Hydra running, just in case that, because there was a Fubuki over here somewhere, and just making sure that I'm not running into any surprise torpedoes. And just generally keeping the high explosion. Look at 620 damage with the high explosive. That's not something you usually get with German cruisers. So don't expect to be able to do that with the high explosive on the Hipper. And again, we're getting crossfired because we're broadsiding on. Oh, there come the torpedoes. Okay, dodge that spread. No problem. There's a Bayern, and we're getting shot at by that New Mexico over there as well. Now, the York, while a heavy cruiser, is not a super sturdy heavy cruiser. The Hipper is a lot more tanky than this ship, so you do have to be a little bit careful. But if you're coming from the light cruisers at tier 5 and 6, you're kind of used to that. Now, I do need to get angles against these two battleships. I do not want to broadside these two. And at the same time, you need to make sure that the destroyers don't come anywhere near my battleship over here. The New Mexico's on lower health. Let's try to set him on fire again. And that Mayhem was around here somewhere. So I'm just inching forward and just keeping an eye out if I can get anything spotted. I think the Fubuki is back in our cap. Ow! Yep, that was the Bayern. That's what I meant. There, we go with another fire, and that should do it. Nope, the Dallas actually takes the kill. That's good, that's one down. Just varying my speed, keeping my nose pointed towards the enemy ships, so I don't get broadside to the battleships. And there comes the Mayhem again. She probably has torpedoes away at this point. So I'm again slowing down in case he's leading his torps. I'm running relatively low on health, so I can't get all my guns to bear on him. But with this excellent amount of running my Hydro just to see if anything's coming, with this excellent amount of damage you do with the high explosive against these ships, this is really one of the German heavy cruisers that is very dangerous to destroyers, aside from the Hydro. And there come the torpedoes, as expected. But, yeah, nice alliance spreads with a big York-shaped gap for me in the middle to get through. So, that's pretty much the enemy team cleaned up. There's not much left of them. And then Skater takes out the Bayern. That leaves only the Fubuki.
Good job!
And, wow. That's a bit of a ruffle stomp, if I might say so. There's not much there. We haven't lost a single ship in this whole game. Yeah, well, it happens like this sometimes. So, yeah, this battle is pretty much over. We're not going to see the Fubuki anymore or be able to shoot at anything. So, yes, we did tank a bit. We lost a bit of our health, but she is a decently sturdy cruiser. Again, not as tanky as the Hipper at tier 8. But a good fire starter. So she's actually a more gentle transition from something like an HE spammer in tier 6 to a tier 7. Not a bad ship. I initially skipped her. I've just been playing her a bit just for you, and she's a good ship. So that's the York down. Let's move on. And the next game I played was in the Algerie. Now, again, we're top tier. We've got 1, 2, 3 destroyers on the enemy team, and in New Mexico, Warspite, a Duca, and a New Orleans. So the Algerie, being a French heavy cruiser, again has fewer guns and a slower fire rate than the La Galissonière in tier 6. So this is kind of something you have to get used to. She has very good torpedoes, the common triple launchers, and she gets a rapid reload mod 2, and she gets 3 engine boost consumables. So we're switching over to the high explosives because we're going to see destroyers, and I'm pretty sure her armor piercing is going to overpenetrate with the 200 mils on close range. So I'm just going to head outside the line here. Now, Wargaming claims that this is the sturdiest tier 7 cruiser out there. I doubt that somewhat. She does not necessarily feel super tanky to me. It's quite a big ship, and I am careful in this ship with tanking. On paper, she's got, okay, there's the man. Oh, there's the Fubuki. Hello, it's me. All right, so Fubuki, what are you gonna do? So I'm gonna slam in the brakes because I'm quite sure, giving him broadside, slamming in the brakes. I'm quite sure at this point he's got the torpedoes away. There they come. And this is what you can do with a high explosive on the Algerie. And with the rapid reload, you actually get a very decent fire rate. So for scenarios like this, where you need to fend off a destroyer, the rapid reload is extremely useful. Now I can damage con the fire because I'm in no risk of getting hit by torps. And high explosive out, that should do in the Fubuki if we're hitting. Okay, that's the first one. So this being a friendship, she also has really decent high explosives. There's the Warspite. Let's see if we can get a fire going, and she's got a pretty good range on her as well. So a very well-rounded ship, I'd say. She is not as specialized as, say, the Japanese Tier 7.
Engine boost activated.
And if you're coming from the Galissonière, you just have to get used to the reload being somewhat on the slower side. But in general, she's a good ship as well. Now, the New Mexico over there. What is it looking currently like? We're pushing with 3 ships on this flank. New Mexico fires at us, so I'm dodging under the shots. And we're just going to rush her, but there's a destroyer right in front of her, so she's probably got something else to shoot at. The forward torpedo angles are really nice on the ship, and the torpedo range is very good as well, but you only get a single triple launcher on each side, so you don't have the same torpedo power that you have, say, in a York, but you have much better torpedo angles. You can shoot almost forward. Alright, now the New Mexico is dead. That Mayhem probably gets a third spread out against her, and then she's done for before my torpedoes even... Yep, there she goes. Okay. Now, with 4 ships on this flank, we've cleaned up the destroyer and the New Mexico. So we can get our cap, but we're 5 on 5 ships. And our cap is, well, endangered. Okay, I don't think I can lob that. There's an actual island in the way. Wasn't sure if that was part of the background or part of the foreground. So our cap is under threat, so I'm actually going to head over there. Because we're leading by 20 points, I don't think our battleship back there is going to be surviving. So we're going to have to kill something. There's the New Orleans. So I'm switching over to the armor piercing, because while she's a heavy cruiser, she's still just a cruiser. And I'm planning to get scrappy with this one and get close in. So once I have good angles, I can use my rapid reload, but for now... do I want to send torps? Not quite yet, because she's bowing towards me. So I'm just going to rush this thing, because I have torps, he doesn't. And yeah, my armor piercing seems to be over-penetrating. Maybe if I've hit her somewhere on the bow where the armor's too thin. Yeah, semi-pens, not the greatest ammunition choice here. Oh, that's better. So broadside at point blank, you can do it, but with a couple of torpedoes, and then we go from the other side. There we go. Then we can actually get her done. Okay, so that's one ship down. So we're leading a ship. Now there's the Warspite, back to the high explosive. Can I actually get her behind that island? I'm not sure. I'm just going to give it a try. No. So she doesn't have the same high angles that you would have in... Okay, there goes the battleship. Now we're tied again. Now we're 40 points ahead. At this point, I'm having a little, what Jingles would call a sudden rush of shit to the brain. Because I'm figuring, oh, okay, we need to win harder. There's the Duca. Duca's a light cruiser, armor piercing out. And I'm kind of overextending here. And at this point, I think I'm realizing it. I'm actually putting her into reverse, and it's like, oh bugger, I'm actually going way too far ahead here. And we're winning on points anyway. And the destroyer over there is going to kill the Dallas got the Warspite. So we won this, right? There's no need for me to do any of this. I could have just hang back and defend it. But you know how it is. Sometimes the game just runs away with you. So okay, so Duca from the front. Torpedoes in, that's a Citadel from the front. Oh, there's the Mayhem. Mayhen's gonna have torps out. Duca dodges these, obviously, because he seems to be knowing what he's doing. And keep on the guns. And again, get open it. Oh, there go. Oh dear. There's Geda as well. And here comes the soup. I've got the armor piercing loaded, so AP against the Geda, but just mostly going to overpen. And then just back off and try not to die. Torps out against the... Oh, there comes some more. These are what? I don't even know who sends which torpedoes anymore. We're going to take 2 of those? Yeah, 2 of the... Oh, there comes another spread. I haven't even managed... That's another torpedo. I have them to 200, 190 health. Okay, 1500 health. Okay, we're good. All good. That was close. I almost got myself killed there. Just because, well, couldn't win hard enough. Anyway, so, yes, the Algerie is a decent ship. Tanky she isn't, in my opinion. And the guns are, well, they take a bit getting used to. So probably the high explosive is generally a good choice, unless you have something broadsiding to shoot at point blank range. And with the rapid reload, they actually fire probably about as quickly as what you're used to from something like the Galissonier, with having more damage on output. So good ship all around as well. Alright, in our last battle, we're going out with the Shores, the Soviet Tier 7 light cruiser. Now this is an actual light cruiser, lots of good guns. The torpedoes are a bit meh, they're really just for point defense if you have something rushing you. But this is a gunboat. It's very much relying on your armor piercing and on your high explosive shells to do the damage. Now we're playing in counter again, and we're the only cruiser in the center cup, so I am going to go left flank and make sure that, because there are 3 destroyers in the game, make sure that they think twice about coming through the air. So the torpedoes, meh, not something we want to rely on. Now she starts out with the armor piercing, and that's generally not a bad choice, because she does have relatively good 150mm armor piercing shells. And the only thing you really want to fire high explosive against is battleships or really sturdy enemy cruisers, if you need to burn something down. Now, being a light cruiser, she has lower armor plating than the other 2 that we've talked about. And okay, there's another cruiser, but I'm pretty sure there's a destroyer somewhere. Yeah, there she is. There's the Akka. Let's see if I can hit her from here. It's hard to estimate the distance. Nope, too far, falling long. Okay, she's faster than I led. It's still a little bit... come on. My aim's off. Okay, there are 2 cruisers coming around, so I'm gonna have to slow down here. But there comes the Akatsuki, and he's trying to rush me by the looks of it. So I'm just gonna put her in reverse. Something set me on fire. That must be one of the cruisers shooting from over there. But I'm just nose in towards them, not even gonna bother. Torps out in case the Akka decides to go broadside, and just... Okay, let's offer him a broadside. And bait the torpedoes out, get our shots off, and then we... Okay, he seems to have gambled that I'm gonna go forward, which I wasn't. There's no need, I was nose in. Okay, so these torpedoes are gonna miss, or maybe he was aiming at the New Mexico, I don't know. There's the Dallas over there. Now, the Shores doesn't have the fastest turret traverse in the universe, so this is going to take a while for my shells to get over there. That New Mexico just told that Dallas that it's not a good idea to broadside battleships. There's a Wang He, very lightly armored light cruiser as well, so I'm going to stick with the armor piercing here and see if we can do something about that thing. And I'm getting crossfired from every direction here. So I'm not in a really good position. I lost one of my turrets. Situation is under control. To repair that because I do need my guns. My guns are my main tool in this thing. And see that I am kind of getting out of this position because there's a Mayhem, there's a Fuso, which is probably getting shots out at me. And we haven't we haven't sunk anything besides that destroyer that I killed earlier. And I'm really close range here. I'm gonna have to back up again. We do need to get something killed. So keep firing at the Dallas, and I get shot off by the Fuso. If I'm caught broadsiding by that Fuso, I'm pretty much done for. So you do have to be careful with this thing. There comes some torpedoes, probably from the destroyer earlier, which is why also I turned in. Now this Dallas is probably going to get torpedoed. Yes, the Mayhem gets the Dallas. The Wang He is trying to rush the battleship, so I'm just kind of trying to sink her before she gets into torpedo range, because she does definitely do a run up against the New Mexico over there. Ah, so close, so close. It just but the New Mexico, I think, manages to take her out before she gets the torpedoes away. Alright, that's that flank cleaned up. Now back to the middle. What's the team doing? Well, everybody seems to be pushing hard in the middle there. There's the Fuso, so we're going to switch to high explosive and see if we can get him on fire. And see what the rest of our team is doing there in the middle. We haven't lost a single... Okay, never mind. There goes the Mayhem. But we still 2 ships ahead. And that Fuso looks like seems to be full health. So I can't reach the Dallas. So I'm just going to try and set the Fuso on fire. Because certainly... no, there goes out. The Fuso takes out our Dallas. Okay, that Mayhem is full health as well. What is this team doing? Okay, we're tied on ships. We're 10 points behind, so we got to sink something. Still got a minute 30. I'm not sure I can get that Fuso in time, but I am trying to. So you see the shell arcs. They are high, and it takes them a while to get across. Okay, there comes the Mayhem. I need to sink something. I don't think I can burn down that Fuso in time. So Mayhem priority target. What is that Nuremberg doing? You're broadsiding a Fuso. Oh dear. Okay, the Mayhen's pulling a Notzer, running straight into that island, so adjust our aim. He's probably got torpedoes away, so I'm just going to move forward again and see if we can get the Mayhem killed as well. That's another shot out. Okay, we're still even on ships. He's going to take 2 torps there. Yes. Okay, can I get him killed? Or is she going to... Oh, he just dodges under the shots. Well done. Okay, our Mayhem takes him out. Probably going to take some torps in return. You see? You see? Nope, he survives. But now, well, our Nuremberg has completely YOLO'd, and yeah, there he goes, which is unsurprising. And I only have 20 seconds left to burn the Fuso down, which is not enough time. So, yeah, we've lost this one. We've done what we could here. We've done what we could here, but... anyway, just kind of showing you how to play the ship. So the Shores is a long-range ship. You do not want to get close to things because she has relatively little armor. She is very dangerous against destroyers and has a very good range against battleships. So generally setting them on fire and burning them down is the way you want to be going. But yeah. She still is a light cruiser. So if you're coming from the light cruiser line and you do really like the rapid firing guns, the Shores is a very good ship. She is not as kind of universal as the other two. So she's not as versatile. She really is more of a long range. So we've gotten relatively unlucky with the fires, but also because we've mostly been firing armor piercing at cruisers and destroyers. But she can burn down enemy ships pretty much as well. So, that's the set of these 3 ships. Now, I hope this was a bit of help in order to just kind of figure out which line you want to pursue and what playstyle you want to go for. They're still all cruisers, and they're not that different from the light cruisers in mid-tier. If you keep your broadsides clean, keep your angles up, make sure you hunt destroyers, keep your battleships safe, all these kind of things, they're very, very good at that. So personally, I love cruisers, and I would enjoy playing any of these 3. Probably my favorite would be, well, the York or the Shores. The Algerie I'm not super excited about, but she's not a bad ship at all and can be totally made work as well. So your choice among the 3, and I hope it helped a little bit, and have a good day, everybody. See ya.